Welcome all EthioPhysics Global Academic followers. My name is Waktola. In today's lesson, we will learn Physics Grade 11 Chapter 4, topic Dynamics. Lesson topic, the concept of force and Newton's law of motion. What do a rocket launching into space, a baseball caught by a glove, and you sitting in that chair have in common? They are all perfect examples of the most fundamental rules of our physical world. Today, we are starting section 4.1, the concept of force in Newton's law of motion. We are going to find out why things move, stop, or change their direction. To get all knowledge about this topic, please like, subscribe, and
Today we will discuss on Physics Grade 11, Chapter 4, Dynamics. Under this, we discuss the concept of force in Newton's law of motion. The other, we discuss on the effect of forces. Also, we discuss on the Newton's first law of motion about the law of inertia. Newton's second law of motion about the laws of acceleration. When we start from the first, dynamic is the study of a motion with its causes. Under this, the concept of forces and Newton's law of motion. Here, the concept of forces. When we define the concept of force, a force is a push or pull acting upon an object as a result of its interaction with another. For example, pushing something or pulling something is called force. So there is what the effect of forces. When we come to the effect of forces, when this pushing or pulling something is what happens, it can cause stationary object to move. For example, object at rest cannot move when the applied force is exerted on it. Also, the effect of force can change the velocity or the shape, speed, direction, or an object moving can also change. It is what the shape or size of an object. When we come to the clear idea of what this the effect of forces can cause stationary object to move. Means if the forces exerted on something which is at rest, cannot the object move. The other, this object cannot change. It is what velocity of the object, whether it is what speeding up or slowing down. The other can change the shape of the shape of a given object, and also cannot change this direction. The other effect of forces can change the shape or this shape or the size. And also, force is a vector quantity. When we come to force is a vector quantity, when we define this physical measurable, force can be defined with what using magnitude. Also with what direction. From this one, forces. When we measure a given force, we use the SI unit, or System International Unit. This System International Unit is called Newtons. Or instead of writing this word, we can write what? N capital. In general, today we're discussing on the concept of forces and Newton's law of motion. First, we start from what the concept of force is. What is the concept of force is? When we define the force is pushing something or pulling by acting upon an object. As a result, there is what interaction between the forces, the reaction, and the effect of forces can be what cause changing stationary object to move, or it can change velocity or speed of a given object, or it can change the shape or the size of the object. Also, force is a vector quantity. So when we talk about this physical measurable, we have to know the magnitude of this, and also we have to know the direction of this application. The second is about the Newton's first law of motion. This Newton's first law of motion is interpreted about the inertia. When we come to the statement of this one, an object at rest stays stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed in the same direction unless acted by upon an unbalanced force or net forces. From the given this one, if the object is what in rest or if the object is what in motion, unless acted by the external forces, it is what is stationary or on rest or move with what the same speed in the same direction. From this one, the idea of this Newton's first law is indicating the inertia. The inertia means the tendency of an object to resist changes in its states of what the motion. For example, for object mass, large mass has what the large inertia. Object has small mass has what a small inertia, means directly related with these masses. The other about the Newton's law of Newton's second law of motion, this is directly interpret about what? The acceleration. Acceleration. When you come to the statement of this Newton's second law of motion or laws of acceleration, the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on it and inversely proportional to its mass. From the given this one, when you come to the general or the formula of Newton's second law, if there is what given unbalanced forces exerted on object, it is what equal is the mass times it is what acceleration, means if the force, if the mass is unchanged, there is directly proportionality between force and acceleration, meaning that if mass is unchanged or constant, when the mass exerted on the object is increased, acceleration is also increased. It's just like this one. This is what? For a constant masses, when mass is increased, acceleration increase. The reverse of this one, the reverse of this one, for a constant forces, when the acceleration or when the mass is what? Increase, acceleration is what? Decrease. There is what? Directly proportional between mass and acceleration and inversely proportional between acceleration in masses. From this one, M is stand for what? Mass of the object. A is stand for acceleration, and F is stand for forces. In general, today we're discussing about physics grade 11, physics grade 11, chapter 4, about the dynamics. When you come to dynamics, what the dynamic is the study of motion with is what causes. Under this, we're talking about the concept of forces and Newton's second law of motion. When we come to the concept of force, the concept of force means when we define the meaning of these forces, force is a push or pull, pushing or pull acting upon an object is as a result of this what interaction with another object. Meaning that two objects is what interacting with each other, either what means of pushing or means of pulling, and also this force has given effects. The effect of force can what cause stationary object can what move, or this force can change velocity or the speed of a given object. And the other one, this force can what change the shape of a given object or the size of what the given object is. From this one, force is what? When we categorize this into this what type, force is what? Vector quantity, means we have to know the magnitude of that vector, and also we have to know the directions of this physical measurable. When we come to the SI unit of the force is measured using Newton, or instead of writing this word, we can go at level times this capital letter Newton. And second one, we talking or discussing on the Newton's first law of motion. The Newton's first law of motion is stating about the inertia of the object. Means object at rest stays at rest, and object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction, unless acted upon by an unbalanced or the net forces. From this, the inertia of the object is what the tendency of an object to resist change in its what state of motion. Meaning, large object or large mass has what large resistance. Small object has small resistances. The third one is Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion is the law of acceleration. When you come to the statement of this one, the acceleration of an object is directly proportional with the product of mass in acceleration. For a constant mass, there is directly proportional between force in acceleration. For a constant force, there is directly inversely proportional between acceleration in masses. When we come to the fourth is Newton's third law of motion. This Newton's fourth law of motion is a state about action in the reaction. When we come to the statement of this Newton's third law of motion or action in reaction statement, for every action, there is an equal in opposite reaction. This force is what? Pair and is equal and opposite. Meaning that whenever an object exerts a force on the second object, the second object is also exert an equal in opposite force back on the first one. So this is what the Newton's third law of motion. Newton's law can split it into three categories. The first one, Newton's first law of motion, Newton's second law of motion, and Newton's third law of motion. So the Newton's third law of motion, or the action in reaction, is what state about the forces you can find in pair. This is what, when you come to the divisions of what the Newton's law of motion, here is what law. First law, second law, third law. Here the core idea about the Newton first law, Newton third law, Newton second law. When you come to the first one, Newton first law, object resists change in its motion. This is what? If the object is in motion, it stays in motion unless the external force is exerted on. For object at rest is also the same. When you come to the Newton second law of motion, is the force causes acceleration. If the force exerted on that body is unbalanced, and there is what acceleration in the directions of the applied forces. When you come to the third law of motion, Newton's third law of motion, it says that force come in equal in opposite pairs. In general, today we discuss on the Newton's law of motion and the dynamic, what is the dynamic, and also the effect of forces. Under this effect of forces can change the shape of a given object, and we discuss on Newton first law, Newton second law, and Newton third law. This is too essential for grade 11 students. If you have any questions, suggestion, please comment me in my page or YouTube. Thank you for attention. Thank you.